is Maritime Radio.
Maritime Radio.
I'm Bethany, and you are listening to the monthly Millwall Fans News and Views show, broadcasting live on Maritime Radio on 96.5 FM and on the Maritime website.
Welcome to our monthly Millwall News and Views show at Maritime Radio. I'm Myles Thornton, your host from Bermondsey. I'm thrilled to introduce our fantastic panel, the dynamic duo from Bexley, Ted Robinson and Stan Godwin, along with our ever-enthusiastic former Millwall chairman, Jeff Burnige, from Ted Loso land of Richmond. These individuals are not just long-time Millwall fans, they bring a wealth of experience in football broadcasting, spanning regional, national and intercontinental media, as well as some fantastic podcasts. As always, we'll dive into everything Millwall. Plus, we're excited to chat with a man who reports from the BBC and provides matchday commentary home and away for Millwall TV. To kick things off, let's take a look at what teams have upgraded to the Championship and share our thoughts. Ted, I'll start with you. Charlton Athletic defeated Leyton Orient by a single goal at Wembley to be promoted to the Championship. What did you make of it?
6 points next year for us. Thank you very much, Charlton, for coming up. I watched the game, funny enough, with a very good friend of mine who's a Charlton season ticket holder. We was away for that weekend, and to be honest, I am pleased for them. I do like playing Charlton. I enjoy it every time we do. But if they don't invest in that side, they're going to struggle next year. Orient actually, on the day, even he confessed, were probably the better side. But, it's whether they've got the finances or whether they've got a very good manager, by the way, Nathan Jones. He's built that side on not giving anything away. They don't concede a lot. They look pretty good defensive-wise, but we all know the Championship's a different kettle of fish to the League One in the sense of trying to keep a clean sheet. So I think out the three that have come up, they may well struggle the most, Charlton, but I wish them all the best, except for when they play us, obviously.
Jeff, in terms of Charlton,
I'm worried about Charlton.
Are you? Nathan Jones has obviously...
Well, Nathan Jones, he's been gone too long, to quote Bananarama. But, I just think that it suits Millwall for Charlton to be a division below us, because there's a lot of competition for fans in South London and young players. So, but I thought over the season they did deserve it, but I'm not that confident we'll get 6 points, because I believe in motivation and it's what's in the head, and they will be absolutely desperate to get a point against us.
Nathan Jones turned us down to go to well, I don't know whether we actually offered him contract, but it was rumoured, wasn't it? And he'll obviously want to beat us then. That's the case. I
think it was he missed out on Alex Neil rather than he turned us down. But look, they're up. That's the way it is, and it is a stronger Championship all round next season. And teams that come up from the League One recently have done reasonably well, but they've come up with some money to spend. Let's wait and see what happens there.
Stan, Charlton coming up?
Well, yeah. On the day of the game, they were the better team. There's no question about that, and they put a good run together in the march to the playoffs, right? But the only thing that disappointed me that day, I thought it would have been it wasn't as hard a game as I thought it was going to be, because I thought Orient would put up a better show than they did, and I thought Orient was poor, and because they were that poor, it made Charlton look. But as I say, to be fair, they fully deserved to win the game. I shall look forward to going down to Charlton next season. I'm just hoping that if they beat us, right, I'm not there to see it. And the reason I say that is for the very simple reason, the last time I witnessed a Charlton defeat in Millwall was in January 1968. And at that point, Robert Kennedy was still alive, Med hadn't gone to the moon, and Johnson was president of the United States. But anyway, that's the reason. But no,
we have to remember as well, Myles, that a lot of people listening to this programme could well be Charlton fans. So let's not be too rude about them.
We love you all.
They will be after us, believe you me.
Half
in
of our
those
family,
games.
that is, Jeff, by the way, are all Charlton. So yeah, I can't wait to see you and have a drink on you again.
Well, I'm really looking forward to it because, you know, Charlton versus Millwall, Clive Richardson and Myles Thornton in the press box.
Whoa.
What could go wrong? What could go wrong? Wrexham coming up. Stan, we'll start with you, mate. The Hollywood Stars have returned to the Championship.
Yeah, I mean, see, there's going to be a lot made of all this in the close season and now about, these two Hollywood blokes come and whatever, and they've done what they've done at Wrexham, and good luck to them, right? But, you know, I think to some degree, when they get up this season coming, and because they're coming up to a different quality, and some of that gloss might start taking an hammering. You know, because if they're going to bring in new players, I mean, okay, one could say, well, they've got the money, which is true, they have, but then they're going to be spending a lot more money on players than they possibly anticipated. So we'll have to wait and see. But, you know, it's because of their background and all the rest of it. That's why they're going to get all the build-up and whatever. Yeah. And if the season, if they don't even make the playoffs, right, and you know, most people would consider that to be a failure. A bizarre thought, in my opinion, I'll wait and see. But I don't get too carried away with all that.
We talk about money. Jeff, Tom Kearney could be going to Wrexham for a good few grand a week. What do you think? How do you think they're going to spend in the Championship next year?
Whatever they spend, Miles, there's going to be a target on their back because they are very high profile. Expectations are very high, probably unreasonably high. I mean, they've come up from the National League, haven't they, in the last 3 years? And there has been a growing gap, I think, in the standard of the Championship and standard of League One. So my gut feeling is they will not find it as easy as all that, mainly because everyone will be regarding them as a big scalp.
Ted?
I agree with Jeff. I think this might be a little step too far from in the sense with their momentum, where they've come from and where they're going to. It's a big step from League One to the Championship. Yes, they're probably in a better position than Charlton because they will have money to spend. But by the way, Fulham have offered Kearney an extension on his contract down at Fulham. Whether he stays or not, I don't know, but I read that the other day. But the intention is already there from Wrexham. You see what they're going to do, and if they buy that sort of quality player and bring him in, then they're going to be a side to sort of you've got to deal with. But I agree with Jeff. I think they'll have a target on their back. All this Hollywood razzmatazz and all that, as it gets further up the ladder, if you know what I mean, you do become a target more, and I'm pretty sure a lot of sides in the Championships will see Wrexham as a pretty big game, and in which case they'll be ready for them. You know, I think it's nobody will be caught by surprise with Wrexham with their momentum and whatever. And you know, in some ways, a lot of the focus from League One about teams coming up was on Wrexham this year, and not on the next side that we're going to talk about, Birmingham, who actually really run away with it. So I think I agree with Jeff. I think they may well be targeted, and it might be a struggle for them.
So we're all in agreement that Charlton and Wrexham next year, Mill will get 12 points against them, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm not.
I think we're near promotion already.
I'm not. I've got my fingers crossed.
Birmingham coming up then. Jeff, we'll start with you. They lost only 3 games all season, and they got 111 points in League One last year. Another team that's said to have a bit of money on with them. Do you think they'll avoid the drop and do better?
I do think they'll avoid the drop. A very good friend of mine is a Birmingham City fan. We've known each other since we were students, and I always go up there with him and vice versa, except last season. I think the truth of the matter is they probably shouldn't have gone down a year ago. They were just beginning to revive a little bit, weren't they? And the new people had come in and were finding their feet, and they went down on the last day, if I remember. I think it was
right, Jeff.
a combination of results, wasn't it, on the last day? So I thought they were hot favourites to come straight back up. And if you think Wrexham have got money behind them, nothing compared to what Birmingham have got behind them. And I think in 10 years' time, when they've got this development going to the east of Birmingham, which the government have said they're going to put some money into the infrastructure to regenerate the whole of East Birmingham, that's going to be a Manchester City Etihad situation. You know, they're talking about a 60,000 seat stadium. The people that should be worried are probably Aston Villa fans, because they've had Birmingham to themselves for years. But you want to know about this coming season, I think Birmingham will be okay, and I think they will be comfortably top half. But again, the Championship is a tough division, and it goes on, and I think there'll be a threat.
Yeah, a threat is what Jeff says. Stan, do you think there'll be a threat?
Well, I don't know, right? Because everything would point to that's the case, right? Okay, they're going to be awash with money and all the rest of it. But, I mean, the stats for last season, well, that was fine. That's last season. They ain't going to happen this season. They're not going to lose only 3 games. I mean, they just ain't going to happen, right? But clearly they're going to try. I mean, they're going to no doubt strengthen in the close season. I mean, for all I know, that might be going on now. But no, I mean, I should be interested to see, because I think what it might be in their longer term interest, just to see whether they can settle in there rather than go for bust. Because I think if they go for bust and it all goes wrong, then I think they'll be on the slide and they won't be able to stop it.
Yeah,
right. And like when I hear people start talking about all these clubs have got all this money, well, that's fine, right? But that don't guarantee nothing, because they've got to spend it in the right way on the right players and do things properly. Just the idea that these people, they just all they got to do is flash cash and all of a sudden actually turn from a relegation team up to winning titles, don't work like that.
A very good point, Stan. But what I would say is that Charlton have got a very experienced manager at this level. Wrexham have got an experienced manager at this level. I can't even tell you the name of the Birmingham. It's Chris. That I could really. I was only joking, but he has not got any experience of being a manager.
Who's that?
Chris Davis, the manager of Birmingham. So that might be. Well, he's not managed, has he? But that might be a factor. I still fancy him better than I fancy Wrexham or Charlton.
Again, I'm with Jeff to a certain extent. They've already flashed the cash, and they bought Stansfield from Fulham last year, who was certainly a Championship player, if not Premier player, from talking of Fulham with Tom Kearney going to Wrexham. But they bought him last year, and without a doubt, he is a Championship player, and he scored goals last year. And you can't ignore them stats. Just losing 3 games, it's going to be a lot more difficult. Yeah. But I said they've done it in a sort of way that I think people accepted they'd gone up at Christmas, so nobody really spoke about them. They are a sleeping giant, for want of a better word, which is used quite often in football, but I think Birmingham City are. And like Jeff said, they went down probably at a good time from as the new people were coming in taking over, because it let them rebuild. They've started rebuilding in the Championship, in League One. Now they're moving to the Championship, they will build again. But they've already got a lot of players within that team that I think are Championship quality already, which is a bit of a struggle when you look at Charlton and when you even look at Wrexham, because the ones at Wrexham have got coming to the end of their career, like the McLeans of this world, the Fletcher who's been let go, them players that got them out of League One were sort of at the end of their career, whereas with Birmingham, Jay Stansfield's at the start of his career, and he could quite well be one of the top top goal scorers in the Championship next year. I think he's that good. But they've got the money, and like Jeff said, there's lots going on there at Birmingham that, to me, just says they're going to get bigger and better. May not be next year, it may be, but I'm pretty confident they'll be mid-table at least.
So you're all in agreement that, the top 3 teams could all avoid the drop?
I'll have to wait and see with Charlton. And I don't mean that horribly to Charlton, bless my family and all that listening, but I honestly think that out of the 3 sides, they are the ones that may struggle a bit unless they invest really well. Coming back to Stan's point, that is a club that's got to do that, because they haven't got the money. They've got to pick well, find a bit of quality on the cheap, should we say, compared to what Birmingham can go and get. Charlton are not going to be able to afford a Tom Kearney or anybody like that. But what he will do, Nathan Jones, is try and make them as difficult to beat. But the trouble with that is sometimes them sides just lose 1-0 week in, week out. And I think that's where Charlton might be struggling.
Yeah, definitely. So, predictions then, do you think Millwall will beat them all next year?
Certainly Charlton. I can't say anything else. Certainly Charlton. And if they don't beat them, it'd be Stan's fault for being there.
Oh, right, okay.
Go on to you then, Stan. What do you reckon?
Well, I'll say this. I think that we've got a good chance. I'm not saying we're going to pick up maximum points from all of them, but we're more than capable of picking up at least 9 points, and that's the 3. So, yeah, I mean, we got nothing to fear. As I say, you go out there, didn't you?
Yeah.
You know, I don't worry about who the opposition are. It's what we do that counts, not what them. Because if you let them dictate, then you're going to be in for trouble, aren't you?
Yeah.
So what you got to do is you got to get out there and stamp your authority on the game and show who's running the game.
Yeah.
And that we continue to run the game.
Brilliant. We've got to go over to Kai Bennett now, and he's going to give us an update on the progression of the Mill Community Trust.
There was just one match for Millwall Lionesses in the month of May, a 7-0 thrashing against Ashford United at the Den, which saw a record-breaking crowd in SC16 since the reform of the Millwall Lionesses. A great day all round, and it ends a good season for the Lionesses.
Okay then, so just while we're waiting for Karl Bates to join us, Stan, what did you make of, you just mentioned to me there while Karl was talking about the game that we saw as Millwall beat Ashford 7-0, I believe.
Yeah.
What did you make of that one?
I thought it was quite a good game, actually. I mean, it's the first time I've actually seen the Millwall Lionesses in a light. I mean, all right, the opposition weren't great, but no, I thoroughly enjoyed the game. I thought it was okay, and I mean, hopefully more people will get along next season to see them. I mean, where do you get these people that knock women's football? I just don't get that at all, right? I thoroughly enjoyed the game last season.
They've been busy, Miles, haven't they? Signed a couple of players.
Three
already, so that's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
Jeff, very quickly.
Yeah, I was pleased they had a game at the Den. They've been having one a season in recent times, but we used to play a lot of the games at the Den. There was one year when it was when we were still in the Championship, when we played every home game, except I think we had one or two at Beckenham when the ground wasn't available. But the club are beginning to see the point in getting behind the Millwall Lionesses again, which personally I'm pleased about. Everyone knows about my long association with the Lionesses and my determination that Millwall should be somewhere near the top of the women's game. We certainly aren't at the moment, but under Ted Jones and Jack Wisson, they are determined to have a go at their division this coming season. I wish them well.
Okay, we'll be back just after these.
This is Maritime Radio.
I'd been tasked to get to the naked truth about successful local advertising.
Are you peeping Tom?
Sadly, it wasn't in there, so I pulled out my pencil to draw my own conclusions. It was broken, yes, it was pointless. Then it hit me. Advertising on this local radio station's the answer. It's low cost, effective, and memorable.
To advertise here on Maritime Radio, click on maritimeradio.co.uk, then About Us.
Come up and see me sometime.
Case closed.
You could travel the world in search of the finest flavours, or you could look closer to home. At Panas Gurkha Restaurants, we're dedicated to delivering delectable dishes from both Nepal and India. Winner of the Asian Curry Awards Nepalese Restaurant of the Year 2024, why not dine in with us? Or enjoy a top-notch takeaway with our menu classics, or maybe try some of our exhilarating new dishes. Along with our exceptional menu, we pride ourselves on supporting the local community through charitable efforts. Panas Gurkha Restaurants. Come and see us in Blackheath, Hither Green and Falconwood, and online at thepanas.co.uk.
Why does Saturday sound great on Maritime Radio?
Saturday sounds great when you wake up to the weekend with me, Mark Fry. We've got the Where Am I quiz, the entertainment guide, and 3 hours of songs you can sing along to.
No. I beg to differ. Saturday sounds great with the Saturday Brunch Show with me, Johnny Reen. We've got the Well I Nevers, the crazy talk about topics, birthdays, what's special about today, and much, much more. That is why Saturday sounds great.
I don't think so. Saturday sounds great because of the big show with me, Jack Mooney, from 1pm. We play our brand new pick of the week and have fun by turning back the clock at 3 o'clock with Turn Back Time.
No, I think you're wrong. I think it's all about the Saturday Brunch Show, really.
People love the Where Am I quiz.
No, but they like the Well I Nevers.
Pick of the week.
No.
Football results.
No.
Yeah.
Why don't we just agree? Between us, we all make Saturday sound great on Maritime Radio.
Wake up to the weekend with Mark Fry from 7, Brunch with John Reen from 10, and The Big Show with Jack Mooney from 1pm. Making Saturday sound great on Maritime Radio, wherever and whenever you tune in.
Especially from 10 o'clock.
Yeah, and 1.
And 7.
The Millwall Community Trust runs over 100 football multi-sports courses, run during every school holiday and vary from a week to 3 days and even 1 day. The day runs from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. and is open to boys and girls for all abilities aged 5 to 13. Check out the Millwall Community Trust website.
Okay, very quickly, just while we're waiting for Karl Bates to join us, Stan, what are your predictions for next year? With Alex Neil signing a new contract, do you think Millwall will progress and actually get them playoffs as we've pushed for the last 8 years?
Well, I would certainly hope so. I mean, I'm glad to hear that Alex Neil signed a new contract, but I think it will. I think to a large extent it will depend on who we bring in this season. You know,
or who we keep. Jeff Burnige.
Well, yeah, and equally who we keep. You know, I mean, I'm hoping, for example, we're signing Sturge, the kid from Chelsea, although he's been released. I'm hoping that we would bring Coburn in if we can, and one or two others. So I think that the incomings, you know, are going to be the key to it all. I mean, there probably will be some that will leave other than the ones that have already been released so far, but we'll have to wait and see who that is.
Yeah, definitely. A little bit about that release clause then from Jeff Burnige. Jeff, what did you make of the news that Richard Foley broke, that there was a £1.2 million release clause? I think he wouldn't have signed otherwise.
I think it was a feat to get him to sign for last season, and undoubtedly he will have been advised to get a release clause in there. What level it's at, I don't know. I'm not sure that Richard's information will be 100% correct. As we're speaking, he's still our player, and I very much hope he remains our player. One thing's for sure is that if he stays for another year, he will then be a free transfer. His contract will be up, and his position will be even stronger. But we have to wait and see there. Regarding next season, Myles, an awful lot will depend on how we do in the loan market. And what happens every summer is that right at the end of August, you make a couple of signings on loan like we did last year. Coburn was late in the day. Ivanovic, although it was permanent, was right at the death, wasn't it? Quarter of a minute from the end of the transfer window, I think, something like that. So I think it's too early to tell yet. Recruitment in the hands of Steve Gallen has gone very well since he's joined the club. Just over a year ago. Can't be anything other than delighted with what's gone on there. And I'm very much hoping for the best. But a word of caution after we talked about the other three clubs coming up. This is a strong division, the Championship. If you look at the clubs that were in the bottom half last season, you know, we were the 22nd highest average crowd out of 24. So if we can keep finishing in the top half, we're doing very, very well. I think we will, though.
Yeah. Ted?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited about next year. And one of the reasons being there was one or two of the younger boys that we signed that we haven't seen yet in Zach Lovelace. I don't know what he's going to be this year. Benicia Baker, who we got as well. A couple of young players. And the one that's really exciting me is Negley. We see sort of next to nothing of him really, but I see enough of him to say to myself, we've got a player there without any shadow of a doubt. Yeah, just right, 100% right. Championship's always tough. It's getting tougher. There's no doubt about that. But I think in Alex Neil, that was probably going to be the best signing we've done in the summer to get Alex on the bigger contract. I think that bodes well for the future. The thing with Millwall Football Club is we are on a very stable footing with everybody from the chairman down. Everybody's pulling in the same direction. And I have to agree with Jeff about Steve Gallen, and these purchases so far as head of recruitment have been nothing short of exceptional, really. But I think the fact is, and I know Jeff wanted to mention this later, is that some of the players that we've released, the experienced men like Hutchinson and Wallace, and by the way, fantastic servants at the football club without any shadow of doubt, and I wish them all the best wherever they're gone, because they'll be forever in my mind as really good Millwall players. But we need maybe to assign one or two established Championship players. We got plenty of youngsters that hopefully will come on. One I'm really excited about, and I have been for a while, was Amaku. I think he could come on leaps and bounds, hopefully, but I think one or two more established Championship players within our squad would do us really well. And I fully expect with that, if that happens, we'll be a top half team again.
Yeah, definitely. Right, we're going to go over to Karl Bates now, who's ready and waiting for us. Karl, can you hear us? Karl? Nope, okay, can't hear us. There's a few technical difficulties with Karl Bates here. Jeff, believe you wanted to say something there.
I think Ted's right. It would have been remiss to have this programme without mentioning Murray Wallace and Sean Hutchinson, both of whom have done brilliantly as Millwall players, and both of whom figured in some very, very memorable moments. Who will ever forget Sean Hutchinson's last-ditch winner at Bristol Rovers to get us into the playoffs? We might not even be in this division but for that. And Murray Wallace's winning goal from a great distance of 2 yards in the FA Cup.
And his Cruyff turns when nobody ever expected him.
The other player that's gone, of course, Aaron Connolly. He was always possibly going to be short-term. But he's moved on. And some of their under-21 players have gone. The standard of player we've released out of the under-21s, those players 3 or 4 years ago would have been good enough to get another contract at Millwall. So that just proves the standard of player that we're now getting in our system. And one or two very good players got released out of that. But we've got a lot of players still, and there'll be some movements out as well as in, I think, this summer. And as I said earlier, I think the loan market. What do you think, Stan? Am I right about the loan market?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's always an important thing. But no, just one thing I want to add, right, which I think is crucial. And I know it happens to every club, but all I'm hoping is this season we do not reoccur with injury problems like we had last season, because that was an absolute nightmare, wasn't it? I mean, we were getting 2 out every game, and they weren't just going to be out for the odd game. It was like 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah,
right.
4 months.
Yeah. So all I'm saying is, I'm just hoping on that side, you know, we get along relatively unscathed on the injuries.
Just going back on Stan's point about Coburn, I mean, if we don't get Coburn, we certainly need a Coburn-type player. I think that proved it. Ivanovic come on leaps and bounds, in my opinion, having Coburn alongside him, because Coburn took the physicality side of it away from him, and unfortunately he was one that we did lose for quite a while, and it noticed. But there's a lot of maybe players in that Millwall squad at the moment. Macaulay Langstaff, I felt sorry for. He just seemed to need a goal, and it just never came for him last year. He could be anything again next year. The players I say that we bought that we didn't see. Femi Aziz came on leaps and bounds throughout the season, in my opinion, from his first few starts to a player that was becoming a constant threat for us whenever he played. And I think if we can back that up with 1 or 2 quality championship players, let's call them that, should we say, players that are established in the championship now, and I'm sure there's targets, and we are like everybody else in the division and any other division. Everybody's looking to see what you do in the summer, who you're going to bring in, how that will change the team. I'm for one of saying to myself, will Alex Neil continue to play with a 4-4-2, or will he go with 3 at the back? Or, you know, there's all them sort of things that I'm sure they're working out at the moment. But, the transfer activity is going to be very interesting at Millwall, and hopefully we get the right buys, and that we could well be knocking on the door if we do. I genuinely believe that.
Yeah. Jeff?
Yeah, I think both Stan and Ted have hit it right on the nail, right on the head, because I think under Alex Neil, he'll want to be pressing, be a real pressing team, and the likes of Josh Coburn willing to run and run and run. I mean, he didn't always get the 90, did he? Because he'd be worn out towards the end. But Mihailo isn't so much of a pressing player, but what a goal scorer.
Yeah.
You know, his percentage of goals to chances very, very high.
And all different types of goals.
All different, but you wouldn't have said he was always pressing, you know, whereas Josh was, and that was a loan signing, and we'll need to match that standard of loan signing, I think. But you made a good point about Cameron Negley.
Yeah.
Both Negley and Aziz, the fans of Sparta Rotterdam and Reading were both gutted to lose those players.
Yeah.
But gutted. So they are 2 amazing signings.
Yeah.
And I think Stan's right about injuries. If those 2 can get through a season, we're going to cause some problems, and I do think we'll be okay, even though it's a very strong division.
Karl Bates should be ready and waiting for us. Karl, can you hear us, mate? Nope. Oh, God. Right.
Well, I'll tell you what, Miles, what we haven't spoken about, we've spoken about the sides coming up, we haven't spoken about the three that are coming down.
No, Ipswich, Southampton and Leicester.
I cannot see Ipswich being anything other than in the top two next season, in my opinion. They went up out of our division when they did the season before, and they were the best team I've seen down there for quite some time. They may well lose, but I know they've lost Delap, but they've got that George Hurst and things, so I can't see them being anything but up there.
Yeah, brilliant. I believe we've got Karl Bates now. Karl, can you hear us?
He's gone all done on us.
I can see him.
He's there somewhere,
We can see you, but we can't hear you.
We can't hear him.
No, he can't hear us.
No.
He's talking sense as usual, I reckon.
Yeah, that's the most sense he has talked.
Jeff, what did you think about Ipswich then and what Ted just said there then?
I'm very mindful about Luton. No one would have predicted they go straight back down.
I think Ipswich are a different kettle of fish.
I'm worried. I think the Championship's very strong. I think they are beginning to get some quite wealthy people behind the various clubs in that division. I don't think any of those three will find it easy. But over 46 games, it will tell. Of the three of them, statistically, Ipswich were the team that finished highest of the three, I think,
yes,
weren't they?
Did, yeah.
So you'd think they're in with the best chance.
I just think, Jeff, sorry, butting in, but I just think with Ipswich, rather than a Luton, they may well be a Fulham from when Fulham come down and went back up. That's the feeling I get with them, because like you say, they finished the best out of them three. They got caught out by the quality of the Premier League, but they was quality in the Championship. And
also, Ted, Southampton have changed manager, Leicester have changed manager, Ipswich are going with the same Kieran McKenna.
Yeah.
So that I think will help them. What do you think, Stan?
Well, I mean, on paper, I would tend to agree with Ted in relationship to Ipswich, because when they was there last time in this division, they were outstanding and whatever. But I don't know. I mean, the other two, I don't think they're going to be in too great a problem. Leicester and Southampton, I don't think they're going to reach the heights they certainly did when they went up before. Right?
What about the Leicester situation, Stan? Because I've heard that they are going to get fined, they're docked points. They're evidently being pulled up for the fair play thing again. And I've heard they may be losing as many as 20 points.
Yeah.
If they deducted that, they've got to be on promotion form just to stave off relegation.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know about the points deduction, Ted, I must admit, but
well, it hasn't happened yet, but they're under threat with it.
Yeah, but I mean, if that, they want that like they want an hole in the head, won't they?
Exactly, yeah.
But no, I just think, I mean, on paper, you would say, well, Ipswich would do like what Ted's saying, right? And I understand that, but the manager's a good manager, no question about that, right? But I don't know. I think it's going to take them time to adjust again. Personally,
talking of managers, what do you reckon about this, Jeff? I think the Southampton situation, they've just got a new manager in that Will Still. Another bit of a gamble. Don't know much about him. Not been in there. But I hope for Southampton's sake and Southampton's fans' sake, they give him a chance, because they seem to be having they're beginning to turn into a bit of a Watford. Have a manager and he don't happen for what they want, So I think it's vital for them that this Will Still actually.
Well, the only thing I'd say on that Will Still, I mean, if you look at his record when he was coaching in Europe, I mean, they all rave about him, right? So, I mean, again, you see, he's a sort of. Let's put it this way: if all of a sudden he turned up at Millwall one day, right, and because whatever. A lot of people would be in for a right education, because he would not do how he's always done.
He may be, because Kieran McKenna became that, but
that's right.
There's a gamble there.
Stan, that's right.
I echo what Jeff said about the sides coming up. The managers, two of them got experience, one of them hasn't in the Championship. So, we're talking about a guy, it's all right doing well abroad.
That's right.
But you're coming back into what is probably the fifth toughest league in the whole of Europe in the Championship.
But the only thing I would add to that, and I don't disagree with you, Ted. I mean, if you look at the Championship now, in terms of managers, coaches, whatever you want to call them, right? It's going the way of the Premier League. There's going to be very few English coaches there.
Not only that,
now.
I saw a fantastic stat, Stan. Alex Neil, who joined us on the 31st of December, is the 12th or 13th longest serving manager in the Championship.
That's right.
It shows you stability, I think, counts. And talking about those three teams, Ipswich looks like a stable club. More than Leicester and Southampton do. Yeah. But we don't know. Everyone's equal on no points at the moment.
But what I was saying at the beginning when we was talking about Millwall, we've got from the top to the bottom of our football club, the thing that gets not spoken about enough, really, from my liking, is the stability that is there.
That's right, yeah.
With the chairman and whatever. Charlton, the other thing I didn't mention about Charlton, they still have the Douchelet business hanging in the background. They don't own their own ground. He could decide anything which could disrupt things, Leicester, the owners there are causing a bit of problems.
See, I've always said
brilliant. So we've got Karl Bates on the line here. Karl, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
We've got you, Karl.
Well, we've been slagging you off.
I'd like to make an entrance.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming, Karl. We're off air now.
Not surprised. I've got 60. I've got 68 phones, computers. I'm hanging out the window. It's the works. Yeah.
Okay, so next up is that man that wrecked the press box at Norwich and remains on the risk register. A freelance journalist who reports for the BBC, Sky, and amongst others, and entertains our fans with his dialect tones and analysis all season long. And as a commentator that I want to be, I look up to the man. That is Karl Bates. Karl, I'm truly delighted to welcome you as our special guest this evening. Thank you for joining us. Beyond wrecking Norwich's press box, what is your most memorable moment of your time as matchday commentator at Millwall?
Well, it definitely wasn't the last 5 minutes trying to get online, I know that. I had a minor breakdown and potty mouth was used, I'm not going to lie.
No, we heard that, Karl.
Yeah, I'm sure you probably did. I'd actually say it's a surprising one when I've spoken to people. When I mention Bramall Lane and the Jake Cooper goal, people naturally think of the late goal that he scored from about 25 yards out, but which seems to be what people most remember my commentary for, was that one. But it was actually from 2019 when he scored in the 1-1 draw up there at 95th minute header. I mean, it was a priceless goal for Millwall at the time. We were heading the wrong way. Results weren't going for us, and you always see that one side that drops like a cannon towards the bottom of the table, and I thought that was going to be us. And the game had everything. I mean, we went 1-0 down fairly early. We really went for a second half. The big difference was Tom Elliott. Tom Elliott came on as a sub second half, and he just caused them no end of problems. That was his looping header that John Egan cleared off the line with his hand, so he got sent off. Ben Marshall hit the top of the bar with the penalty, and you're thinking this is never going to go our way. Once again, it was Tom Elliott with the header. Keeper saves it, and there's Coops at full stretch to dive header the ball into the net, and that turned the season. And that was, I think, is either my first or second season with Millwall, and I just remember I was watching that game. They put us in the gantry for that game. Normally we sit in the general press box. For whatever reason, we were up in the gantry, and there was myself, Billy Taylor, and Sam. She was commentating with us as well, and it was just carnage. I mean, I accidentally knocked Sam's headphones clean across the room. I was just, it was a brilliant moment, and really, really important as well. So I say that's the one that vividly sticks in my mind.
Yeah, definitely.
Hello, Karl. It's Ted here, mate.
Hello, Ted.
I don't think Miles looks up to you because I think he's actually taller than you, thinking about it. But anyway, that's
most people are, mate. Most people are.
But considering we had such a good finish in 24-25, Karl, what would you say we were good at it during that time, and what were our weaknesses in that season at the end of the season run? What do you think?
I'd say I'd rather start with the weaknesses. I think it's better to finish on a positive. I think injuries didn't help us. Losing Lucas towards the end of the season was a problem in goal, and that's no slight on Evans whatsoever. I think he did well considering the situation he was put in, coming in so late and in such an important part of the season. We lost Danny Mack and Lenny, and we thought that would have been a problem. I'll come on to their replacement in a while. So I think that was it. But our away form at the start of the season cost us overall. I mean, we won 1 in 12, and that was the stoppage time goal from Casper over at Swansea. And I think that cost us, because towards the end of the season, our away form actually picked up really well. You know, we won at Luton, Derby, Watford, Sheffield United. we were good on the road towards the end of the season. I think that's a real positive to take into next season, was the fact that away from home, we looked capable of scoring, and we weren't a side that under Neil, and this, again, nothing against Neil at all, but we quite often would sit back and try and pinch a goal. Under Alex, we seem to be a side that wants to score, wants to impose ourselves on the opposition, wants to cause them problems, more than thinking we're going to just come as a team that's going to, look at a key set piece or just maybe a moment of magic. And I think that there's definitely been a positive recruitment. I mean, look at Tristan Kramer, who I was sort of alluding to when I spoke about Danny and Lenny. I mean, who saw that coming? A centre-half all day long, forced to play full-back due to Danny and Lenny, and it was like it was effortless. There was only probably a couple of times when he was up against truly top draw wingers like Burnley last game of the season, where yes, he did look like a centre-half at full-back, but 9 times out of 10 he was fantastic, and what a signing that is. Tanganga and Casper, so consistent through the season. You need a good spine to your side, and they were just what we were looking for. I mean, Casper's getting better and better. Players that are getting better, Femi Aziz, it's really impressed me. I thought the Millwall shirt might have been a bit too big for him when he first started, but he's grown into that, and I'd say he's one of the first names on the team sheet. Bangura Williams, another exciting talent, of course. And the small matter of that Serbian up top. I mean, what a season he has had. And what an array of goals as well. This isn't like a true poacher's goal. You look at the goal at Luton, edge of the box, that wonderful finish at Portsmouth after a really nice team move down the right. Plus the little smashing, the little sort of darting finishes like at Burnley. I mean, naturally clubs are sniffing by the sounds of things. You hear rumours. There's always rumours this time of year. How much truth is in them? Normally minimal, but you never know. But yeah, if he's back, if he's with the club next year, and I expect him to be, in all honesty, we've got a great player on our hands up top, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him again.
Carl, stand here, mate. Given what we have been told, or given what you have told us, where do you think the reinforcements are necessary, and or our tactics may need to vary?
It's a good question, Stan. I would say central defence is an easy choice because of Hutch and Muzzer departing and what servants they've been to the club. 2 top professionals and really nice guys as well. So they're a big loss. Yes, Tristan comes in, so you've got him, Coops and Jaff as your main 3, but I think for those sort of positions you're going to need a 4th. A left back, because we've got Joe Bryan there, obviously very good. Picked up a couple of injuries. We haven't got Muzzer, who can just slot in there as a left back to cover a few games. We've had a couple of people come in there and impress, but are they going to be able to go 10, 15 games if they're with the club? And one thing that central midfield wise for me, or that I suppose the way Alex plays it, that number 10 role, nobody's really bolted that down yet. Has said that's my spot and no one's shifting me from it. We've had a few people dabble in there, but nobody is. And I suppose, and it's something that I do mention in commentary quite a lot about Ryan Leonard. He is obviously a wonderful fullback, but he did come to us as a central midfielder, and he is the one player we have in the side that I'd be confident if he picked up the ball on the halfway line and there was a gap, he would run 40 yards very quickly, a strong drive, and he can hit a ball. If you remember that goal he scored at Hull during COVID when he was about 3 miles away and hit it sort of top left-hand corner of top left of the keeper, it was an incredible goal. And it's a shame that somebody that good has been put back to fullback when he could have done that going forward. So I think somebody like that, somebody who can get the ball and drive at the opposition, because then that opens up the gaps for a Mihailo just ahead of him, so he can be played in like it was when Bangura Williams cut in against Portsmouth. He just cut in and then there was the ball through, because Race had just got that bit further forward. He'd gone past the midfield and then the gaps opened up because of that run. So I'd say that's somewhere, because we've got some great holding midfielders. Honeyman, I think, is very underrated, and I think it's very unfair sometimes the stick he gets when he is a central midfielder and he plays there about twice a season. I'd like to see Saville or Billy Mitchell or somebody trying to play right of a free, left of a free, just in behind a striker. So those 3, Billy, Sav, Honeyman, no problem with them, but they're not the type of player I've just, alluded to.
Yeah.
There's nothing against them, but that, to me, that number 10 role, if that's the way Alex is going to line up, somebody needs to grab that shirt and say, that's mine for the season. This is why. That to me is the pivotal one.
Yeah, Carl, on that note, unfortunately, due to the technical difficulties, we can't go any further, and Jeff isn't able to ask his question, but we do want to say thank you very much for your efforts for getting on to talk to us tonight.
Apologies, guys.
See you in the press box very soon.
Take care of yourselves, guys. Sorry about that.
No worries. Thanks, Carl.
See you, Carl.
No worries. Take care.
Go head over, and we'll be back with our second guest very soon, just after this.
This is Maritime Radio.
Receive it, store it, deliver it. In the warehouse, on the road, on the app. Muztrans for storage and delivery solutions you can rely on. In Belvedere, Dartford and Medway. With over 12 acres of external storage and more than 250,000 square feet of internal warehousing, whatever your storage requirements, we've got the space. With our new app, you can track your collections and deliveries every step of the way. See muztrans.com or give us a call on 0208 320 7602.
Our Millwall Community Trust Line Centre has a 4G football pitch where 9 versus 9 can play, a sports hall, classrooms and a cafe. To access these state-of-the-art facilities in a safe and positive environment, get in touch on 0207 740 0503.
Thanks, Bethany. I'm Myles Thornton, and with me, the magnificent panel of Ted Robertson, Stan Godwin and Jeff Burnige. You have heard a bit about our Millwall Community Trust and some of the things that they do. They make a fantastic difference to the communities that they serve. And talking of the communities, here is the new Mayor of Southwark and South Bermondsey Councillor, Sonny Lamb, and Millwall Community Trust CEO, Sean Daly, talking with Eamon Barkley about recent Southwark and Millwall community matters.
On the 17th of May, Millwall Community Trust CEO Sean Daly and Andy Dolan of Millwall Romans were invited to Southwark Cathedral. Sean Daly, on behalf of the Millwall Community Trust, and Andy Dolan, on behalf of the Millwall Romans, were separately awarded the Southwark Stands Together Award. Following the award, South Bermondsey Councillor Sonny Lamb was appointed as the new worshipful Mayor of Southwark. Sonny joins me now. Sonny, you must have been delighted to receive this honour.
Yes, to be honest with you, it is a very surreal experience. When you came into the country from Africa, Nigeria, you don't think of coming councillor, talk less of becoming the mayor, standing there and being inaugurated as the first citizens of a great historical borough of Southwark. It was the most important moment of my life. And I just want to say a big thank you to good people of South Bermondsey who made that happen. Because without me being a councillor, that wouldn't have been possible.
That's brilliant. Can you tell us how you came to Bermondsey and what has kept you there?
Bermondsey as a whole had some very interesting history, which obviously make everyone careful what you say and what you do. However, over the decades, in fact, I would say bless Russell Dryden, who passed away recently, the fishmonger in the blue.
Yeah.
We work extremely hard together. I mean, that's how I knew a lot of people in the Bermondsey area, Gary Maygold, bless him, and so many people who were working together in the community to bring our communities together. And then it wasn't surprising when I was asked to stand by my Labour Party in 2013. I was selected to stand, and then 2014 I was elected. When I was knocking on doors, I realized that a lot of people from very diverse backgrounds I had known for a long time, even decades. So when they saw me, they said, "What are you doing here?" I said, "I'm asking to vote for me." He said, "But I remember somebody said, boy, you are in the wrong party." So, wow, at least you know me. You know I'm a hardworking boy. I'm a man of my word, and I work for everyone, irrespective of persuasion. If you have 3 votes, why not give me one of the 3 to your friend? Okay, I'll think about it. There you go. Now you see the result. And I've been representing the good people of South Bermondsey since 2014. So this is my 3rd term. Came one of the governors at Harris Girls,
Yes.
And then I was governor at Southwark College before I became councillor. So I've had a very fantastic relationship with Bermondsey and South Bermondsey. I had the opportunity to represent them. I believe it was just a natural progression. Just want to say again, thank you for the good people of South Bermondsey from diverse backgrounds who made it happen for me.
A man of the people. We've seen you at the Den. You have a relationship with the Millwall Community Trust. What do you see as the benefit that Mill Community Trust and the football club provide to the community?
The link between Southwark Council through a political appointment with the Millwall Community Trust. Of course, I've had some of my colleagues who were the link before, but in the last year or two, I became the link, and I'm glad that I was able to watch, a few of Millwall matches. Well, I remember, I think the first one was Swansea. Your director and a few people said, Sonny, we want to see you at every match if you're going to bring luck to us. I said, well, I always make it sunny everywhere I go. So I'll be disappointing myself if I didn't do that, with those matches. So it's fantastic. There are some wonderful people. Sean, I've known Sean for a few years now. And so many other people in Millwall, of course. So working together, making sure that we bring our communities together and we make, Millwall a fantastic club that it is, and even make it even better than what it is, and accessible to the whole community. I think this is something I cherish, and I want to continue to work with the trustees.
It's great stuff. Undoubtedly, bringing the sunshine to SE16 is bringing Sonny Lamb as well, by the sound of it.
Absolutely.
Sonny, it was a relief to us that the regeneration of South Bermondsey allowed us to remain where we are, and that Lewisham Council granted us an incredibly long lease. That was not on the cards initially. Did you foresee that outcome arising, and will you be involved in future developments?
To be honest with you, I'm not surprised because, yes, you can see where Millwall is, like the border between Southwark and Lewisham. Collaboration, partnership between Southwark Council and Lewisham Council and the councillors who represent, those areas. So I'm not surprised that it happened. A few years ago, when the new business was being opened on Surrey Canal Road, I was actually invited to come and represent the mayor because I was still able to support good relationship between us for a long time, and we should continue to maintain and sustain that, because it's very important for our diverse communities that love Millwall and also want Millwall to remain where it is. So I'm not surprised that both, boroughs, our council, our elected representatives, and the community to work together to make sure that Millwall gain its long-term lease that it deserves.
That's fantastic. We look forward to hearing your views about how things develop in and around the Bermondsey area.
I'll be very happy to continue to support in every way I can, because we want Millwall to continue to develop our community, sure that young people have something to look forward to, playing for Millwall Academy and also doing greater things in future. So yes, definitely whichever way I can support, I will continue to do it with my colleagues as well.
Great stuff. Sonny, enjoy the next 12 months as the worshipful, the Mayor of Southwark, and I'm sure we'll speak again for certain.
And I look forward to seeing you too. And remember, it's always sunny around me.
And we hope that will always be the case.
Thank you so much.
I've got Sean Daly with me now. What a day, Sean. Saturday, the 17th of May was for our Millwall Community Trust, our Millwall Romans and Southwark Council's politically appointed Millwall liaison representative. Both Andy Dolan of the Romans and you, Sean, picked up separate prestigious Southwark Stands Together awards. And Sonny Lamb, who is your liaison representative, was inaugurated as Mayor of Southwark. He's also South Bermondsey Councillor. Congratulations. How was it for you?
Thank you very much. Thanks for acknowledging the award. When I got there, I was quite shocked because I didn't know anything about Andy being up for an award as well. MCT won the award about 3 or 4 years ago, really about the impact an organisation has on Southwark, how it brings the community together and then the impact it does. So for me, it was a great day, but I was more pleased about Andy getting it. Andy got the award for the work the Romans do within the local community, how they break down the barriers and how the LGBT community is now seen within Southwark. So great honour for the Trust and all my staff for all the hard work they put in Southwark, but I was really pleased with, the Romans and Andy getting this sort of award.
It's also an honour that the council's representative to Millwall is the Mayor of Southwark for the season ahead. Tell us about his relationship with the club.
Sonny's been like a councillor for the local area, probably one of the first councillors I met when I took up the role of CEO. Very supportive of the work the Trust does. Out of all the councillors, I would say he's the first if I have an issue or I send something through to the council for them to look at, say like the annual report or the work we're doing at St Paul's, etc. He would be the first one to come back, acknowledge the work we do. He'd come and visit us, councillor. He's a Millwall fan, and then to be enrolled as mayor is unbelievable for us. I've already spoken to him and said, it's our 40 years. I would like for the club and the Trust to get the freedom of the borough next year, which I think would be a great honour. Only the mayor can actually acknowledge that to an organisation. I've already invited him to the new season. I'd like to sit down at the den, meeting people, coming to our programme. So for us, club and organisation, he will support everything that's going on in the area.
He's such an enthusiastic character. Well, until we speak next time, take care.
Thanks again, Eamon, for the acknowledgement. It's brilliant. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye for now.
A great interview there by Eamon Barclay with Sonny Lamb and Sean Daly. So the Den is just a short walk from South Bermondsey Station, and it's a 4-minute walk from London Bridge Station. It's also probably around 2 to 3 minutes more from Surrey Quay Station.
Docks.
Sorry, yeah. Arguably Surrey Quay Station. Lastly, we will return on Saturday, July the 5th with our Millwall monthly news and view show live here on Maritime Radio. Thanks to our panellists Ted, Stan and Jeff, and your producer today wasn't meant to be Gary, but it's now Jack. Thank you very much, Jack.
Well, you nearly got a right-hander there, Mould.
And thank you very much for listening. Don't forget to join us at the Den.
Let's the best team in London know the best team of all. Everybody knows us, we're called Millwall. Yeah! Let them come, let them come. Let them come, let them all come down to the Den. Let them come, let them come. We'll only have to beat them again. It's the best team in London, no, the best team of all. Everybody knows us, we're called Millwall. Millwall. Let them come, let them come. Let them come down to the Den. It's Saturday in Cold Glow Lane. We've all come down to cheer. We've had our jelly beers and our glass.
speaker, online at maritimeradio.co.uk. Local radio.